Hello, hi. This is for friends and family. Um, I'm having a little bit of an episode in my apartment complex, and this is what I don't understand. Okay, if you're under housing, you shouldn't even have no problems with the landlords coming in or no cops. Okay, and this is when I question myself about what's going on. First of all, if I'm noticing some stuff is broken in my house or damaged, or any type of unusual activities like mold or leaks or anything, water leaks or anything like that, that's something you're supposed to report to the BBB or to the health department. Okay, them are things like that you're supposed to report. Now, with the damages and stuff, you're supposed to report that to the office. Why? Because it's happening on the property. Okay, everything in this apartment that I have is not old. Okay, because I never took any old items with me from the other apartments. I never really take old old items with me. That's how I knew that some of the items were not old. Most of it was new. Most items in this apartment was new. The furniture is not even old because I didn't have it last year. I didn't have that same furniture last year. I try to switch up on different furniture. When I go somewhere different, I have different furniture. Okay? And that right there is for spiritual reasons. Okay? Um, but when you got an adult, and this is what me and my grandmama agreed to. I said, Grandmama, this person that is coming in is lashing out on my kids' items. And my children didn't do anything to this person. And the first thing my grandmama said is, maybe that person really evil. And I said, yeah, they are evil, because they shouldn't be lashing out on no children. See, that's one thing that most adults do not do. They got common sense. We don't lash out on no children. Okay, these adults out here in Tucson, Arizona are petty. Even my son, Ty J. James, he had that problem with his teacher. She was lashing out on him, putting bruises and scratches on him. And he would come home, and the police would say, oh, the mother did it. That's not true. The mother did not do that. I love my child. If I'm a black supremacist, ain't no black supremacist gonna put their hands on their own culture. Okay, you're talking about a woman that was in an all black law organization. You're talking about a woman from a black community, okay, from the west side of Chicago, a black community. That black person is not gonna bother her own sister or brother out there in the streets. No, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna even mess with their own black children. Okay, and I'm also a godly woman. Okay, I do believe in peace. I do believe in God. But I'm not gonna lash out. This is when I know that the landlord is crazy. First of all, if you lashing out on children, a cop and a landlord is lashing out on a child, messing with their items and everything else, that person got a serious issue. Why? Because that child did not do nothing to them. And the reason why they're bothering the children because they're part of me. They're part of Terena. The only reason why some of them problems happening to my children because they didn't like the mother that the children has. That's what this is about. Or they don't like the father. If you got a woman that's lashing out on your children, or a man that's lashing out on your children, it's best to get rid of them. Why? Because they are evil to the core. That is evil. First of all, evil is hatred. You don't lie. It's a hate crime. You don't lash out at no children. That's the first thing I do is question. Okay, what is I'm doing here? If I make a threat, it's gonna be for a reason. That threat gonna be a promise. Why? Because I don't want you messing with my children. That's one thing Chicago, Illinois people do not represent is you is you messing with their children. They don't want you messing with their children and their family and their friends. They don't want that. But basically, children, a child cannot defend themselves. I don't want you messing with my child's stuff. I don't want you messing with my child. I don't want you touching my child. And that's why I had to report that lady named Mary Starks a long time ago that's messing with Tajay, my son. I don't like no racism. I don't like no white woman putting her hands on my children. I didn't even like Anasa Pachico. I'm gonna go ahead and say their names because I'm not scared of them. They must be scared of me to come behind my back, but like I said, I'm the type, I stand bold. I'm not gonna mess with your clothes. I'm not gonna mess with your car. I'm not the type that would do that. I'm not gonna mess with your car. I'm not gonna mess with your clothes. I'm not gonna mess with nothing that won't say ouch. But I will mess with that person because they will say ouch. And I said that to the police in Chicago. I said, excuse me, I'm not gonna mess with nobody's clothes. I'm not gonna mess with none of their belongings because those belongings can't talk. I want the person to feel what I'm doing to them. I don't want nobody messing with my children or messing with me. I'm gonna touch that person. I'm not gonna go mess with your items. No, you got me mixed up. I want the person. I want to snatch the person up. I don't want your items. What I want with your items? Your items ain't do nothing to me. Your items ain't do nothing to me. What I'm gonna want with your car? Your car ain't do nothing to me. I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm getting mad at. I know my reason. That's why I said you getting mad at the right person, right thing, right situation. Then you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's how you know you ain't crazy. You getting mad at the right situation, the right person, about the right problem. Okay, you got to question that. Who are you mad at? Why are you mad? How did it start? You know what I'm saying? When did it start? What happened? Them are the questions. When did it happen? Them are the questions you ask yourself. That's how you know you ain't crazy. Okay? I don't give a damn what the police in Arizona got to say. Because they don't question nobody. They just think everybody's a criminal. But they don't get into the cause and effect of it. They just know that they see a black person. That's all they know. When you're in the South, all they know is you see a black person. All those Mexicans know is, oh, we see a black woman right there, or we see a black man. It's the South has always been like that. They always call the black woman or black man angry. Get away from that. Get away from image, okay? Because guess what? That white girl is silent. And she's silent and she's sneaky. That's one thing about that white girl. She worse than a black girl. See, a black woman would tell you the problem. Oh, well, this is what we have a problem with. Not that white girl. She gonna keep silent. She gonna keep silent. Why? Because she don't want you to know she met. She want to mess with your mind. But a black woman be like, okay, what's up? What's up with you? Let me know what's on your man. Okay, how can we resolve this? Okay, we can always go to the parking lot and work this out. Let's step outside. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm used to. Let's step outside. Then we could talk this out or we can fight it out. Either or. Long as we are working this out. We can resolve it. Some white people, they want to go resolve it in court. They want to have a court. That court stuff take too long. That's too much documentation. We're not going to be bothered with no paper trail. That's one thing we don't leave. If somebody gonna come after you, they not gonna leave no paper trail. They not gonna text. They not gonna do none of that unless they trying to work it out. Anytime somebody throw a text message of a threat, that's a person that's trying to work it out. They trying to find out something. But a dangerous person walk in silence. They walk in silence. They don't make no paper trail. No paper trail or nothing. No text, no phone call. They don't even say nothing. They don't even make a video. That's a dangerous person right there because they never made any type of saying that they was coming after you. But no, you got to be careful being mad at children because children ain't doing nothing to you. I don't like nobody bothering my children. I'm going to confront that lady in the office. I don't want nobody bothering my children. And the first thing I want to do is come after her for messing with my children. I don't like that. You have to be careful who you're being mad at. I don't like nobody playing on man games. Let me know how you feel so I can get the hell up out this apartment. That's it. But again, my name is Terena HINES. That's my maiden name.